We've now reached a somewhat mid-season finale for the first season of 1923, with the show taking an almost month break between airing episode 4 and the upcoming episode 5. There's a lot of time to think about what we could potentially see unfold in the remaining half of the season. With the condition of Jake still unknown, Spencer only just finding out about what occurred with Banner and the injuries that were endured, and Jack also getting more and more hot-headed, it looks like the final half of the season is going to be an explosive one. So with that, I thought I'd break down, explain, along with give my theories and predictions to what I think could happen next. So let's get into it. Here is 1923 episode 5 Theories and Predictions Explained. Just to let you know, this video will contain spoilers. Let's break this video down by what we can expect to see for all of the main characters. Jake. I think in episode 5 we'll still see a Jake that is in a condition where he's not prepared to go out into the public or wants to make his injury self known to others. I think he will have survived the ordeal that occurred, but instead of being in a critical condition like we saw on the ranch in episode 4, I think we'll instead see him in more of a stable condition. I think he'll still be making all of the main decisions on the future of the ranch and leading the retaliation from a mental standpoint, because physically he won't be there. As he mentioned, he doesn't want any conflict to arrive until Spencer returns home. So I think following on from the large battle that did take place, it'll be focusing more on mental manipulation and mind games for the next few episodes. Cara. In Jake's absence, I feel we'll see Cara step up again like we saw her do in episode 4. However, in the trailer, it looked as though Donald Whitfield introduced himself to her due to acquiring the Stratford Ranch, which is next to the Yellowstone Ranch. Obviously, we know his intentions, but it seems as though Cara is going to be suspicious of the character, as he looks to get ever closer to all of the things that are going on over at Yellowstone. As well as being the leader in Jake's absence, I think she will continue to look out for her nephew Jack and his fiancée Elizabeth, but I believe she will continue to have her own internal struggles that we're seeing come to the forefront as the episodes gradually keep developing. She's holding the weight of the future of the ranch on her shoulders, and it's clear to see that it's a large responsibility, along with worrying about her husband. So despite being strong, I feel we may see her have times of reflection, mainly when she's on her own. Spencer. With Spencer spending most of his time with Alex, his newfound fiancée out in Africa, he's finally managed to find a piece of happiness amongst the darkness that clouded his mind, due to the trauma that he faced and relives in his mind constantly from the Great War. With him reading over the letters that Cara had been sending him and stumbling across the one that we saw was written at the end of episode 3, following the battle which we saw John Dutton be killed, Jake be in a critical condition, and Jack and Elizabeth be wounded, we saw the request for him to return home from his family. He's been avoiding going back to the ranch for a specific reason, something that's not been dug into that much. Just that it seemed as though the war cost him himself and he doesn't relate to the person that he used to be prior to entering it. Hence why he's halfway around the world and extremely distant and absent from his family life. However, this is something that he's not faced before. I think in episode 5 we'll see him make the decision to go back to Yellowstone. The ranch is his future as he's set to inherit it following on from Jake, so it's something that's worth fighting for. With his family also being injured, it's something that I imagine won't sit lightly with this character, as despite the fact that he's been absent, he strikes me as somebody that cares deeply about the people that he loves. I don't think he'll be at the Yellowstone Ranch in the next episode, but I think the decision will be made and we'll see him set off to return back home. I also think he'll bring Alex with him too. Teonna. Teonna has had a really traumatic story so far, and as a viewer, I think it's been extremely hard to watch. The hardest thing to watch in this season in general, following on from her standing up for what she believes in, not wanting to lose her identity, and protecting the people around her. We saw her go on to take out the evil Sister Mary in the closing moments of episode 4. Whilst she got her revenge and ultimately managed to escape, I think it could be something that could have been the wrong move. We know that her grandmother was looking to adopt her, which would make her her legal guardian so she'd be able to get her out of the boarding school as we saw in episode 2 of the show, and I feel that we'll see the adoption be successful, but when she goes to retrieve her, she won't be there. But I think that's further down the line. I think in episode 5 we'll see the aftermath of the discovery of Sister Mary, and also the revelation that Teonna will be nowhere to be seen. I think this is what the search that was taking place in the original trailer for the series is stemming from. They will all be out looking for Teonna, and with it seeming as though this boarding school is in the middle of a desert, it's going to be a tough journey for Teonna to not only stay hidden, but to also manage to survive and make it back to her family. Banner. Banner is the reason behind why all of the conflict that we've seen occur has happened. He's one of the villains of the show and is one half of the Range War. With him approaching Donald Whitfield, I think the title of the evil villain will transfer over to him, as Whitfield has the means and the resources to do so. I feel Banner will meet his maker when Spencer returns, and I don't think he has a chance when that moment does arrive. Banner killed Spencer's brother, injured his uncle, hurt his nephew and his wife, and is looking to take over the legacy of the family, so Spencer will most likely not go easy on him. Donald Whitfield. We've only had a brief introduction to this character in the show so far, but what we did have, there was a lot to take away from it. He comes across as an evil individual that is rich in terms of money, but also power. We saw this when he lent some money to Banner in order to take the fight to the Duttons, and also in the way that he carried himself and handed out the cruelest of threats. In the trailer, we saw that he introduced himself to Cara as the person who recently bought the Stratford Ranch, which was nearby. With him wanting the minerals that are on Yellowstone due to most of the wealth in the state lying within the ranch, I believe we'll see him start to devise a plan on how best to get the ranch and allow himself to become richer, no matter who gets hurt in the process. Whitfield said to Banner how if he crossed him he'd regret it, but I feel Whitfield could be the person who leaves Banner to the side when things start to go his way. There's a lot that we could see happen in the next episode of the show, and also the remaining 4 episodes in the season. I feel a lot of the groundwork has been put into the show to allow it to establish itself and also give us the characters that we could root for and fight against. However, with there being a clear direction that the second half of the season is going in, I think we're about to see the show go up a level, and the amount of danger, devastation, and death that is about to be given to us as the viewer will be very large. I can't wait for the show to return in a few weeks' time. So, there you have it. 1923 Episode 5 Theories and Predictions Explained. If you want to see more videos such as Endings Explained, Theories and Predictions, and Character Breakdowns, then click on the I button, or alternatively you can head over to my channel where you'll find them all. If you'd like to give me a show or movie that you'd like me to review, then head over to my Twitter, @BrainPilot_, and tweet me what show or movie you'd like me to review next. And finally, if you'd like to see what I rate the latest movies that don't quite make the cut to getting a dedicated video, then head over to my Letterboxd profile. It's where I rate the latest releases in real time. What do you think is going to happen next? Leave a comment down below, and don't forget to subscribe. I'll see you next time.